Curious about which cruise line is the best for your Alaskan cruise adventure? Well, just about every cruise line offers itineraries to Alaska. Each has its own highlights and unique experiences, but it's important to understand the key differences between them, as your choice can make the difference between an unforgettable vacation and a total letdown. Hi, I'm Christy.
And I'm Noah. We're often asked, what's the best cruise line to take to Alaska?
And it's not really a simple answer. You have to take into account your personal preferences, your vacation style, and your budget. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 of the best cruise lines that are sailing to Alaska this year. We got a little bit of help from US News and cruiseline.com when compiling this list that includes Holland America, Princess Cruises, Celebrity Cruises, and Norwegian Cruise Line.
And we'll be sharing our experience and research.
And at the end of the video, we're going to give our recommendation about which cruise line is right for you. Another thing that we're going to talk about in this video has to do with within a cruise line.
Right, because not all the same ships within one cruise line are going to give you the same experience. So if you go with Princess, don't assume that an older, smaller ship is going to give you the same experience as a newer, larger ship.
So in addition to the cruise line, we also are going to be talking about itinerary. And we're going to start this one off with Holland America. Holland America was our first cruise ever and our first cruise to Alaska. And I feel like, knowing nothing, we just blundered into a really good experience.
Yes, we really lucked out. Great ship, great entertainment, nice amenities. It went to Glacier Bay, all of those types of things that you want on your first trip.
Yes, and it was a newer ship. So Holland America has different class ships, and its newest is the Pinnacle class ship, and the Koningsdam is the ship that we went on, which is one of their newer ships. One of the itinerary items that we're going to focus on in this video is we're going to talk about whether or not the cruise ships go to Glacier Bay. So why do they want to go to Glacier Bay? Why is that important? And we lucked out that it was on our itinerary.
I mean, Glacier Bay is huge. It's like, I think for us, it was like the main attraction. It's like you're going to Alaska to see glaciers is one of the main things, and some of the wildlife in that. And it's just such an enormous thing, and it takes a whole day when you're in it. It's, if you haven't gone and it's your first time, it's something not to miss.
You don't want to miss. So in this video, 3 of the 4 cruise lines that we're going to talk about go to Glacier Bay. Look for it.
Holland America Line is a premium cruise line founded in 1873 as a Dutch company. They began sailing to Alaska in 1947. That's 78 years of experience. One of the first major cruise lines in Alaska, pioneering land and sea tours in the 1970s. Holland America has exclusive permits for some of the best scenic cruising spots, including Glacier Bay and Hubbard Glacier.
So what does Holland America do well?
Well, of all the ships that they have sailing to Alaska this year, 3 of them have indoor pools. The Zaandam, the Eurodam, and the Koningsdam.
And they are just beautiful ships on the inside and out. On our Holland America cruise, we found this food to be delicious, especially the seafood. It was very fresh, and a lot of it was locally caught in Alaska.
Yep.
In addition to the really good food that they have in the main dining room, and we even tried a specialty restaurant on that sailing, they have the Grand Dutch Cafe, which kind of harkens back and has a bit of their Dutch history with it. One of the things you can get there is you can get their pea soup, you can get specialty coffees, and you can get treats, like you might even get a cookie. To get those specialty coffees at the Grand Dutch Cafe, you can pay a la carte, or if you have their Have It All package, then you can use that. The Have It All package is $60 per person per day and includes
shore excursion, drink package, specialty dining, and Wi-Fi.
Something that Holland America does really well is their enrichment. And we, again, didn't even know we're going on a ship that has good enrichment. What do you think about the enrichment?
It was good. They had some naturalists on board that gave some presentations in the main theater, as well as the park rangers that would come onto the ship from Glacier Bay and give talks in the theater as well, specific to what you were going to see in Glacier Bay. That was really cool.
And throughout the day, they made announcements if they saw any wildlife. So when you're on the ship in Glacier Bay, if they see a bear, they'll say, "Oh, look on the port side of the ship.
Right.
Port side
Whales, all
where the
kinds.
whale, yes. So that was great. And I do remember the enrichment in the main theater. They took advantage of the projection, the walls, like you could project on the walls, and they had like the whales going. So that was really neat.
Yeah, I agree.
So in addition to the enrichment that Holland America does really well, they also do the live music really well with their music walk. So
Right.
what did you think about that?
That was really cool. There was a number of different venues, like bars that they had the stage set up or whatever, and there was a classic rock one and blues, and then they had like a dueling piano bar as well, and a variety of different performances each night on the different stages in that area. It was really cool.
My favorite was BB King's. My super favorite was BB King's on the Orange Party night.
I liked the dueling piano bar. They would take requests on the spot, and it was really neat to hear the players play something just on spur of the moment like that without any
They're
rehearsal.
so good. They're so good. The service on Holland America was great. And they have twice a day cabin service, which I really like.
Yeah, I agree.
Based upon our experience, what do you think Holland America could improve?
Let's see, the performances in the main theater could be a little bit bigger, but I think they're limited because of the size of the ship and whatnot. And this is all based on the fact that when we went on this was our first cruise. We thought it was fantastic. It was like the best thing ever. Subsequently going on other cruises and other cruise lines and that, we have something to compare it to. So looking back, that's something that could be a little bit more impressive.
I still enjoy them.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I would definitely go on.
I'd go again. Yeah.
So who's Holland America for?
Holland America is for adults. And I say that because they don't have water parks. They don't have go-karts. And really, they do have a kids club, but it's not really a ship that's designed for them. However, when you go on an Alaskan cruise, we saw there were lots of families there. And the reason why is you're going to Alaska. You have your activities already planned out and you're not on the ship for them. So basically, families can go too, but if I was going to say, who's it for? Who is it designed for? It's more for adults.
Okay, so who's it not for?
Okay, so I already talked about that families, maybe not so much. But in addition, if you're someone who doesn't like formal nights and doesn't like traditional cruising, then maybe Holland America is not right for you also.
If you were going to give Holland America a personality, what would it be?
Classic, sophisticated, and culturally enriching. America has 6 ships sailing in 2025. So we're going to look at the different ships, their ages, their classes, and their itineraries. So we're starting with the Zaandam. The Zaandam is an R-class ship. It was built in 2000, and it holds 1,432 passengers. One of the nice things about smaller ships like the Zaandam is that they're easy to get around. So let's say that you have a hard time walking. Being a smaller ship is kind of nice because you don't have to travel so far. The Zaandam is doing a 7-night inside passage going out of Vancouver, and it includes Glacier Bay. So it has stops in Skagway and Juneau and Ketchikan. 2 Vista-class ships that are sailing are the Noordam, which was built in 2006, and the Westerdam, which was in 2004, and it holds 1,972 passengers. The Noordam is a 7-night one-way, so you either do a northbound or a southbound, or if you'd like, you just stay on the ship and you do a 14-day turnaround. Now you have to know you're stopping at the same stops on the way back that you took up if you do a 14-day sailing. Westerdam offers a 7-night round trip out of Seattle, and it includes Dawes Glacier instead of Glacier Bay. Moving on to the signature class ships, that's the Eurodam, which was built in 2008, and the New Amsterdam, which is 2010, and it has 2,104 passengers. Again, not a real big ship, more of a mid-sized ship. And it sails out of Seattle also. It goes to Ketchikan, Sitka, Juneau, and it does have a stop in Glacier Bay. New Amsterdam is also a signature class ship, and it sails out of Vancouver with stops in Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway, and Glacier Bay on its way to Whittier. This is the same 7-night one-way or 14-night round trip. And the Koningsdam is the newest of these ships, the 6th ship sailing to Alaska in 2025. It's from 2016. It holds, you can see, more passengers at 2,650 passengers, but I certainly didn't feel that it was crowded. And the Koningsdam is a 7-night inside passage sailing out of Vancouver. It goes to the Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway, and it does have a stop in Glacier Bay. Before we leave Holland America, a couple insider tips. One is that on Glacier Bay Day, they come out on the deck serving warm, delicious Dutch pea soup. And then the other is they have an orange party night to celebrate their Dutch heritage. And you'll want to make sure you pack something orange so you can participate. Next cruise line we're going to talk about is Princess Cruise Line. And we're going to start with an overview.
Princess Cruises is a premium cruise line founded in 1965. They've been going to Alaska since 1969, making it one of the pioneers in offering cruises to the region. Princess has permits to go to Glacier Bay, and you will see in a minute that most of their sailings in 2025 do include Glacier Bay. Like Holland America, the line has decades of experience in Alaska and is known for its land and sea tours, which combine both cruise and land-based explorations of the state.
Let's start with some things that Princess does well.
Oh, they have beautiful ships. They're all easy to navigate with a central piazza. And 3 of the ships, the Coral, Grand, and Caribbean Princess, all have indoor pools.
One of my favorite places to get a snack is right off of that piazza, and that's at the International Cafe. So at the International Cafe, they have food 24 hours a day. So in the morning, they have breakfast food. They have lunch, sandwiches at lunch. They have treats throughout the day, which includes
yummy cookies.
And if you like specialty coffee, that's one of the places on the ship that you can get specialty coffees. Something else that Princess does well is their Princess packages. So they have a Princess Plus and a Princess Premier package. And I really like them because they're $60 per person per day, US. There's no dynamic pricing. It's the same no matter what cruise that you're on. And the big 3 things that it includes that make it worth the price includes a drink package, Wi-Fi for one device, and crew gratuities. They come with lots of other things too, but the Princess Plus package at $60 a day, that's pretty much what it has. And the big difference for the Princess Premier is it has unlimited specialty dining. But I'm going to link a video below that goes over all the things that the different packages include. You might take that cookie that you got at the International Cafe with you and go to the main theater for the enrichment talks that they have on Princess.
Yeah, they have a naturalist on board, and then also when you go into Glacier Bay, they pick up one of the park rangers there, and that's really cool because they give a lot of talks on educational things, wildlife, different things to be on the lookout for when you're in Glacier Bay to make your experience there the most it can be.
Yeah. And if you have one of these passports, the National Parks passports, you can get it stamped when you're on the ship. How cool is that? I think that Princess has the best technology at sea, and the reason why is because of medallions. So why do you agree? You think they're great?
Yeah, the medallions are definitely make things really convenient. You use them for scanning in when you get on the ship, so they know who you are. And then also you can use them to unlock your room kind of wirelessly. When you walk up to your room, it knows that you have this and the little light turns green. You can just open it and go in. And then ordering drinks and snacks and stuff around the ship, they can find you and bring that stuff to you. And then on the app, you can use it as a finder, kind of like an AirTag, right? So we would be able to find each other if we got split up and we wanted to find one another. Then we could look on the app and it would locate one another with the AirTag medallions.
What you can do on your app also is to find where different things are happening on the ship, and there's a lot happening on Princess ship. So they have production shows, they have guests like singers, they have comedians, they have game shows, they have trivia, they have live music throughout the ship. So there really is something for everyone entertainment-wise.
No, I agree. It's like sometimes it's hard to schedule everything in your day, and you're definitely the fun quarterback, and the app comes in really handy and finding out when all those things are and how you're going to like dovetail them all together to get the most out of your day.
Absolutely. There's a lot to do. What do you think about the service?
Oh, it was excellent. The room was always clean. They came twice a day, very friendly, very consistent. No complaints there at all.
Agreed.
So where do you think there's room for improvement?
I would say that depending upon the class of ship. So we were on a Grand Class ship last summer when we went to Alaska. And their buffet, the difference between a Grand Class and a Royal Class ship, the buffet is like night and day. It's much smaller, much less variety. And then in the main dining room, I would also say, even though they have a lot of, proteins to choose from, just about every one you can think of, I would say even with that, maybe have some items on the menu for people that are less adventuresome. So who is Princess for?
I think primarily they put themselves out there for a mature adult crowd, because it definitely has some of the more traditional things with like the dress at night and champagne fountains and things like that. But really, everybody can enjoy it. Everybody can find something that they like on there, from the food and the entertainment to the destinations like Alaska, right? And it's just kind of knowing, who you're bringing and what their interests are.
I definitely think when you go on an Alaskan cruise, there is definitely more multi-generational families. You saw more kids on the ship because you're going to Alaska and everybody wants to go to Alaska.
Mm-hmm. So who is it not for?
I would say it's not for families where the kids want to go in water slides because they don't have water slides. They do go in the pool, and there's a lot of kids in the pool, but there's no water slides, there's no go-karts. So I would say for families where the children would need more youthful activities, this is not the ship for them.
So what's the personality?
Classic, elegant, and destination focused. Mm-hmm. Now let's take a look at the ships and the itineraries for 2025. Princess has 7 different ships sailing in Alaska this year. So we're going to start with Coral Princess. Something that I learned in researching for this video is that Coral Princess is the Coral class. It was designed specifically to go through the Panama Canal. I think that's fascinating. So it's a little bit smaller ship. It's from 2002 and it holds just 2,000 passengers. All right. And as far as Grand Class ships, we have the Grand Princess from 1998 with 2,600 passengers, Caribbean Princess from 2004 with 3,140 passengers, Sapphire Princess from 2004, 2,670 passengers. That's what we sailed on last summer. And Ruby Princess in 2008 with 3,080 passengers. So you can see that Princess definitely is mid-sized ships. These are all mid-sized ships. So the Coral Princess, Caribbean Princess, and Sapphire Princess, they all have the same itinerary. So they're all going the north and southbound routes, or you can do a 14-night round trip. But you have to know you're going to see the same stops going up and back. So if you went southbound, you're starting from Vancouver, stopping at Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway. You hit Glacier Bay, you hit Hubbard Glacier, and then you end up in Whittier. We haven't really talked about the land cruise that you can add on to this type of sailing, but we'll do that in a future video. So make sure you subscribe so you can hear all about it. The Grand Princess, it has a 7-night passage with Dawes Glacier. So going out of Vancouver, Ketchikan, Dawes Glacier, Skagway, and Juneau. Those are the big 3 cities in Alaska that most cruise lines you'll see again and again go to: Ketchikan, Skagway, and Juneau. Sometimes they go to Sitka as an alternative to one of the other stops. Now this one's interesting. This one's an 11-day out of San Francisco. So you can see that it leaves in San Francisco and goes all the way to Ketchikan and then makes its way to Juneau and Haines, Glacier Bay, and then back to Victoria on its way back to San Francisco. So Definitely, this is one that if you're interested in being on the ship longer, you can see you're going to have a lot of sea days, but if you enjoy that, this might be a fun sailing. Moving on to the Royal Class ships. We went on Discovery Princess just recently on a Mexican Riviera cruise, and it was lovely. So the Royal Princess is from 2013. It holds 3,560 passengers, and then Discovery Princess in 2022, 3,660 passengers. And the Discovery Princess's itinerary is a 7-night inside passage with Dawes Glacier. So leaving out of Seattle, you're going to, I'm guessing you go to Ketchikan first, then Dawes Glacier, Juneau, Skagway, and then make your way back to Seattle. Royal Princess, it also leaves out of Seattle, and it's a 7-night inside passage with Glacier Bay. So if you want to do Glacier Bay and you want to be on a Royal Class ship, you would want to do the Royal Princess. Before we leave Princess, here's your insider tip. If you are sailing to Alaska on the Grand Princess, the Ruby Princess, or the Sapphire Princess, you'll want to head up to the Skywalker's Lounge on glacier viewing days because you're going to get the most beautiful view from up there. We're moving on to the next cruise line, which is Celebrity Cruise Line. We're going to start with an overview.
Celebrity is a premium cruise line owned by Royal Caribbean. They began sailing to Alaska in 2000, offering cruise tours with land-based extensions to Denali and the Canadian Rockies. They offer Dawes and Hubbard Glacier viewing. Unfortunately, they do not have permits for Glacier Bay.
Let's start by talking about the ship themselves.
The ships are beautiful, elegant, and have a unique kind of modern artistic interior. I noticed it a lot in a lot of art pieces decorated around the ship. The design of the furniture, the lounges, all the different spaces inside definitely had a different feel from the other cruise lines we've been on.
And one of the things that I found as I researched for this video is that they designed the ships to go to Alaska. And what I mean by that is that like they have lounges that have, on the Solstice class, they have floor to ceiling glass so that you can really you can be inside and get that look at the glaciers. And then when we were on the Summit, it was the Skywalker's Lounge?
The Sky Lounge, and it was above the bridge at the front of the ship. And like you said, it had glass all the way and floor to ceiling and a lot of great seating. So you could, get up early and get a great spot there for Glacier Bay or wherever you're at to see glaciers and have a great view.
Yeah, that is one of the downsides of Celebrity is that they actually don't go to Glacier Bay.
Oh, that's right.
They go to Dawes Glacier and they can go to Hubbard Glacier on their one-ways, but they don't go to Glacier Bay. But that wouldn't stop us. We're going to actually go on the Celebrity Edge in May of this year to go to Alaska because we have been to Alaska a couple times. So we haven't seen Dawes Glacier. So the combination of being on a Celebrity ship and going to Dawes Glacier, it's making it worth our while to go there. And one more thing about the ships is all the ships have indoor solariums, indoor pools. So that's nice when you're sailing to Alaska if it's cold out. So now we're going to go on to the food. So the food on Celebrity we found to be very good in the main dining room.
Right.
And the buffet. We were on one of the smaller, older ships, the Summit, when we went, and the buffet was great. They had lots of different stations where you could get
lots of variety.
Yeah, noodles or So I really enjoy when you can get fresh made items in the buffet. That makes me want to eat in the buffet. Ooh! And one day, remember, they had the chocolate fountain. It was so good. And you know what I really liked about the chocolate fountain? That the people that work there served the food. Like, they're the ones who twirl. You told them what you wanted. They twirled in the chocolates and
There's nobody sticking their fingers in.
Oh, that would have been gross. But so that was good. And then they do have another place, just kind of like the International Cafe, called Cafe Al Baccio. And Cafe Al Baccio is where you can get the specialty coffees. And with Celebrity, if you have the drinks package, then that is included. Your specialty coffees are included in that. And they do have, oh yeah, he's got to find his cookies. So all these places have little 24-hour opportunities to get coffees and treats throughout the day. One of the things that I'm looking forward to is seeing how Celebrity does their enrichment.
Yeah, it sounds like they have a naturalist on board, and then there is a Alaska exploration program.
So talking about entertainment and activities on the summit, the entertainment was good. My favorite game shows ever. I love the game shows on that one. I did a lot of them. It was fun. Celebrity also had great service. We had really good service on the ship, and they also have twice a day.
Cabin service,
Cabin
right?
service is great.
Who's Celebrity for?
I would say adults and couples are the ones that are going to have the best time. The entertainment is more geared towards them. The game shows are geared towards them. The trivia is geared towards them. It's not really geared for kids. Who is it not for?
Families with young children, and if you're looking for water slides and rock walls and go-karts and that kind of stuff, then this one's not for you. So what would you say the personality is like?
Modern, upscale, and sophisticated. Now let's take a look at the itineraries for Celebrity for 2025. Celebrity has 3 ships sailing in Alaska this summer. So let's start with Celebrity Summit. Celebrity Summit is a Millennium class ship from 2001. It holds just 2,218 passengers. It's a lovely ship. We sailed on it in a repositioning cruise this past May when it was repositioning going from LA up to Vancouver for the Alaska season last year. So this is a one-way, either northbound or southbound, going out of Vancouver, stopping in Ketchikan, Sitka, Juneau, and then it does go to Hubbard Glacier. Hubbard Glacier is amazing. It's humongous. And then it ends up in Seward, Alaska. The next ship is the Celebrity Solstice. It's a Solstice class ship from 2008. It holds 2,852 passengers. And it is doing a 7-night round trip with the Dawes or Hubbard Glacier. So in this example, it's going to the Hubbard Glacier. So it goes out of Vancouver, goes to Ketchikan, Juneau, and then does the Hubbard Glacier. But you want to check if you're going on Celebrity Solstice, which itinerary are you doing? Are you doing the Dawes Glacier or the Hubbard Glacier? This is the cruise that we're going on. So it's the Celebrity Edge. It is the Edge class ship from 2018. It holds 2,918 passengers. Again, they're not huge ships. Like this is much smaller than the Discovery Princess that holds almost 4,000. And this is a round trip that includes Dawes Glacier. So it goes out of Vancouver with stops in Ketchikan, Juneau, and Skagway, and going to even the Endicott Arm. So it should be a lot of fun. Here's your insider tip for Celebrity before we move on to Norwegian Cruise Line. And that is if you're sailing on the Celebrity Summit or the Celebrity Solstice, head up to the Sky Lounge, and that's where you're going to get the best viewing on your glacier day.
Norwegian Cruise Line is a contemporary cruise line founded in 1966. They began sailing to Alaska in the 1990s. The originator of freestyle cruising, which means no set dining times and a relaxed dress code. Norwegian Cruise Line offers one of the longest Alaska seasons, running from April to October. Many sailing go to Glacier Bay.
Norwegian has both older and newer ships sailing to Alaska this year. The older ships are glitzier and the newer ships are more modern looking.
And they all have indoor pools.
Some of the things that Norwegian Cruise Line does well is it's called The Local. So this is a restaurant that's open 24/7 that you can get food. So that sounds yummy. They also have an atrium cafe, which is similar to the International Cafe, where you can maybe pick up a cookie, and they have small bites as well. Norwegian Cruise Line does offer a perks package. It's called More at Sea, and it includes a Wi-Fi, your drink package, and a specialty dining.
Yeah, but I don't think it includes Starbucks, though.
No, it doesn't include Starbucks.
The enrichment, it sounds like it's very similar to some of the other cruise lines where they've got a naturalist on board, and the park ranger comes on board when you go into Glacier Bay.
One of the things I'm looking forward to when we go on Norwegian Cruise Line, I'm hoping for next summer, is to go to the Broadway shows. So they have like real Broadway shows like The Choir of Men and Kinky Boots, which sounds really great. Additionally, they have live music throughout the ship and deck parties. So it sounds like a very lively ship.
So based upon your research, what could be improved?
So what people said is, number one, they wish that Starbucks was covered. And also water bottles are not covered by your drink package, which I find really interesting. And then the other thing is Norwegian Cruise Line is kind of known for like a nickel and diming. And what they mean by that is those extra great activities. Like they have go-karts, they have virtual reality experiences, they have
Like laser tag.
All those things cost more money. Now, I kind of get it, because if they didn't charge more money, like you'd probably wait your entire cruise to get in line to go to it. So, but that is something that people complain about.
Who do you think Norwegian's for?
I think this is, of all the cruise lines that we've looked at today, it's the one for families. So they have activities for families. They're more geared towards families, but you have to keep in mind, we're going to look at it in a minute, they have older and newer ships. I'll talk about which ships have those fun things that the kids would like, because they don't all have the same activities. So if I was going with children, I would go on their newer ships, and we'll talk about that when we look at their itineraries.
So who's it not for, and what do you think the personality is?
So I would say it's not for somebody who likes a traditional cruise experience. Someone who likes those formal nights, they like the champagne pours, they like to have their set dining time, because they don't have set dining time. It's all very flexible. So then the personality would be fun, flexible, and casual. Norwegian has 4 ships sailing to Alaska this year, so let's take a look at their itineraries. The Norwegian Jade is a jewel class ship from 2006, and it only has 2,402 passengers. This is an older ship. So since it's an older ship, it doesn't have all those fun go-karts and such. So this is not one that I would sail on with children. This one does a 7-night northbound or southbound, and it goes to the Hubbard Glacier. So out of Vancouver, stopping at Ward Cove and Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway, the Hubbard Glacier, and ending in Whittier, where you can do a land tour, or you could do a one-way the other way. So you could start with your land tour and then do a one-way back to Vancouver. And then you have the Breakaway Plus class. This includes the Norwegian Joy that has 3,804 passengers, Norwegian Bliss with 4,004 passengers, and Norwegian Encore that has almost 4,000. So you can see these are bigger ships. The Norwegian Joy, it has a 9 or 10 day with a Glacier Bay or Hubbard Glacier, going out of Seattle, going to Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway, and Sitka. So some of them go to Glacier Bay and some go to Hubbard Glacier. So when you go to book, you can see which one. Personally, if I had never been to Glacier Bay before, I would choose the one that goes to Glacier Bay. And then the Norwegian Bliss, it has a 7-day round trip with Glacier Bay early. This is interesting. So if you're early in the season, remember, they start sailing in April. So if you're in April or beginning of May, you'll go to Glacier Bay. If you're going late in the season, you go to Glacier Bay. But if you're mid-season, they don't have permits to go to Glacier Bay then. Then they go to Dawes Glacier. And so they also go to Ketchikan, Juneau, and Sitka. So no Skagway. And then on the Norwegian Encore, it does have Glacier Bay. So it's a 7-night round trip out of Seattle, going to Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway, and gets Glacier Bay. So this would be a really nice one to go to, I think, especially with kids, because the Encore has lots of fun kids activities. Our insider tip for Norwegian Cruise Line is, if you are on the Bliss or the Encore, you'll want to get up early and get to the observation lounge to get your best seating for Glacier Bay viewing. Based upon everything that we talked about in this video and our experiences, which cruise lines would you consider best overall?
I'd say Princess and Holland America.
2 to choose from. So how do we decide of those two? Like, how would we narrow it down?
Well, at this point, I would be checking to see how much inventory is left for rooms for the cruise you want to go on, and compare that to your budget.
Yeah, that's true. Because depending upon when you're sailing, like what month you're sailing in, there may not be much inventory left. And that makes me think about, I actually worked with a friend at work just this last week. She wants to go to Alaska in 2026, and the inventory is already selling out.
Wow.
So book soon.
So how about the best cruise for couples?
Well, U.S. News says the best one is Celebrity. I say Celebrity's great. So is Holland America and Princess Cruises. All right, so which one would you say is best for families with kids?
Norwegian Cruise Line. They're definitely more casual, not as traditional with the dress-up nights and those types of things.
And they also have go-karts, rock climbing walls, the things that kids are maybe looking for when you're on a cruise. Whether you choose Holland America, Princess, Celebrity, or Norwegian Cruise Line, you can't go wrong. They're all considered to be the best that Alaska has to offer. And if you want to know how to get ready for your Alaskan cruise, watch this playlist next where I talk about everything Alaska. It's going to take forever.
The service is great.
You're killing me.